What's up, y'all? To kick off the makeover on my parents' garden bed, I'm going to be assembling and installing this Scott's garden storage shed. Before assembling the shed, I had to build a foundation for the shed to sit on, so me and my dad poured a 4-inch concrete slab which the shed would be secured to. The Scott's garden storage shed is made of galvanized steel and comes in pre-cut and pre-drilled parts, which makes for a straightforward assembly. I decided to pick the windiest day ever to start assembling the shed, which made it a little harder to get the wall panels installed, but with all hands on deck, we was able to get them up. With the walls up, I was able to install the wall channels, which made the shed a lot sturdier, and then I was able to get all the roof panels in place. Before I installed the doors, I drilled some holes in the concrete slab to attach the shed with some concrete anchors, and the anchors secured the shed tightly to the foundation. After getting the doors assembled and attached, we was able to place all the garden equipment inside the shed and got it organized, and now we have everything we need close by to start on the garden bed makeover. Thank you guys for watching this video, and make sure you check out the Scott's garden storage shed. But until next time, y'all, peace, love, and many blessings.
You really don't need no more, do you, Nick? Huh?
What's up, y'all? With spring in full motion, I started working on a big makeover to my parents' garden bed, and with the garden shed installed, I can now start on the new fence for the garden. After ripping up the old fence and placing stakes for the new layout, I was ready to start setting the new fence posts. I used my auger to dig 2-foot holes for the footings, and then I placed approximately 4 inches of gravel for the base. Once me and my dad got the 10-foot post level, we was able to pour our concrete, and then we repeated the same process until we had all 17 posts set. Next, it was time to place the bottom rails and handrails for the fence, and we made sure to use a level on each board to keep the rails straight. To install the hardware cloth fencing, we used some fence staples and hammered them in to attach the fence to the rails, and it's best to have 2 people for this so that one person can hammer the staples in while the other person holds the fence tight in place. I decided to place some top rails around the fence as well to make the fence feel a lot larger. After that, I was able to use my recip saw to cut all the fence posts to the same height, and then I placed these deck post caps on top to add the finishing touch. The last thing that we had to do was to cut down some of the trees and branches that was covering the fence with a chainsaw, but after doing that, the garden fence was complete. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm impressed with how the fence turned out, and hopefully it'll do a great job of keeping the critters out of the garden this upcoming season. In the next video, I'll be showing you guys how I assembled the raised garden beds and arch trellis, so stay tuned. But until next time, as always, peace, love, and many blessings. What's up, y'all? This is part 2 of the garden makeover, and today I'll be showing y'all how to assemble and install these raised metal garden beds from Vigo Garden. To maximize the space in the garden, we decided to use the 17-inch tall 10-in-1 modular metal raised garden beds. These garden beds have 10 possible configurations in which they can be built, so it's easier to determine a design that best fits your space. After doing some measuring in the garden, we determined that out of the 6 beds, 2 of the beds will be 2.5 feet by 9.5 feet, and the remaining 4 will be 2.5 feet by 7.5 feet. Assembling the beds was pretty simple. Each of the panels are able to screw one to another, so once I figured out my configuration, I was able to use the provided nuts and bolts to attach the panels together. I also had to install these bracing rods to reinforce the strength of the garden bed, but after getting the rods attached, I was able to assemble the rest of the panels to finish the bed. One of my favorite things about these garden beds is that it's easy to change the configuration when needed, so I was able to change this 9.5 foot garden bed down to 7.5 feet, and it didn't take too long to make the change. The last thing I had to do was to add the safety rubber edging to each of the garden beds, and then I was able to start placing the beds in the garden. The garden beds were not too heavy, so I was able to get them in place all by myself, and I made sure to measure beforehand to ensure all the beds were centered and evenly spaced, and with that, the garden beds was all set. Thank you guys for watching. In the next video, I'll be going back to show how I installed the arch trellis, so stay tuned. But until next time, and as always, peace, love, and many blessings. What's up, y'all? This is part 3 of the garden makeover, and today we're going to be setting up the arch trellis. This arch trellis system is from Vigo Garden, and the model that we're going to be assembling is the VAT 70, which is a triple section trellis that is 7 feet long. The VAT 70 is compatible with the 2.5 foot by 9.5 foot raised garden beds, so once I got these 2 beds placed and centered, I used a tape measure to make sure I had the right spacing between the beds, which is 4.5 feet. I started the assembly by attaching the upper and lower connectors to the garden beds by using the provided bolts, nuts, and hex wrench. With all the connectors attached, we was able to go ahead and place the arc poles, and installing these poles was very simple, and once you get the first poles attached to the connectors, the rest of the poles just overlap one another. The next part that took the longest was attaching the link poles between the arcs. For each link pole, you have to place a interior and exterior plug, and from there you screw in the bolts to make the poles tight in place. It took us a little while to get all the link poles in place, but by working together we was able to get it done, and with that, the arch trellis is complete. Thank you guys for watching the video. In the next video, we're going to start filling up the garden beds, so stay tuned. But until next time, y'all, as always, peace, love, and many blessings. What's up, y'all? This is part 4 of the garden makeover, and today we're going to be filling up the garden beds and getting the gravel placed. To fill up the garden beds, I'm going to be using the hugelkultur method, which is using organic materials such as rotting leaves and tree branches to fill a portion of the beds and then covering the rest of it up with topsoil. By using this method, the decomposition of the organic material will enrich the soil over time, and I was able to save on the amount of topsoil I needed to fill the beds. Once me and my dad got all the beds filled, I went back and added some black cow manure to each of the beds and mixed it in the soil using my cultivator. Next, we had to get the gravel placed in the garden, and before placing any gravel, we made sure to put some landscape fabric down to help suppress any weeds that might grow up. Using this dump cart made it a lot easier to get the gravel spreaded out, and after a couple more loads, we got all the gravel placed inside the garden. Thank you guys for watching the video. In the next one, I'll be showing you guys the vegetables we ended up planting in the garden, so stay tuned. But until next time, y'all, as always, peace, love, and many blessings. What's up, y'all? This is Nick with From the Ground Up DIY, and today I'm going to be setting up the Rock Speaker Connect from Victrola inside my garden. The Victrola Rock Speaker Connect is an outdoor Bluetooth rock speaker that is powered by a solar charged battery or USB-C charging, and by pressing and holding the Bluetooth button on the back of the speaker, I was able to quickly connect my phone and was able to play some music. The great thing about these speakers is the multi-speaker connectivity, which allows you to combine up to 20 rod speakers at a time for an immersive audio experience. After combining the two speakers, I set my camera further away so that you can see how loud the speakers are, and I'm very impressed with the audio quality. To make sure that the audio is balanced throughout the garden, I put one of the speakers towards the front of the garden and then the other speaker towards the back, and this allowed the music to be heard all throughout the garden. These speakers are water and dust resistant as well. I had the opportunity to use them during a storm while it was raining, and even though the speakers got wet, they functioned as normal and the audio was still up to par. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'm glad to have some speakers in the garden that blend in nicely and sound amazing. Make sure you go check out the Rock Speaker Connect on Victrola's website. I'll make sure to have the link in my bio. But until next time, y'all, peace, love, and many blessings. What's up, y'all? This is Nick with From the Ground Up DIY, and today I'm going to show you guys how to transform my garden fence with the firewood stain. For those of you who don't know, I built this garden fence earlier this year, and now that the wood has dried out, it's finally time to get the garden fence stained. I started things off by ordering a sample pack first, and after applying each color and asking my supporters what they think, I decided to go with the majority vote, which was redwood. Before applying the stain, we made sure to clean the garden fence by using a pressure washer and a deck brush, and I also used my sander to remove any letters and rust spots on the wood that I saw along the way. After giving the stain a quick shake, I was able to pour it in my paint cup, mix it up, and get to staining. The Fives Ultra Semi-Transparent Wood Stain is a premium quality stain that can be applied in 1 or 2 coats. The first coat creates a flat finish while the second coat adds deep color and a nice sheen. The stain also protects against UV rays that cause fading and is rainproof within 4 hours of application. While staining, you want to make sure that you're applying even coats to prevent any dripping, and using the Five Stainer deck brush allowed me to get a nice smooth finish. There were a few areas along the top and the bottom of the fence where I couldn't use a brush due to the wire mesh, so for these areas I decided to use a spray bottle instead, and it did a great job of getting everything covered. Thank you guys for watching this video. Applying 2 coats of the stain really brought out a nice color, and I'm loving the new look of the garden. If you want to use the firewood stain on your next outdoor project, comment stain down below in the comments, and I'll send you a link to get 10% off on your order. But until next time, y'all, peace, love, and many blessings.